Hello, friends and fellow rebels, and all of those with good heart. Of course, we can't proceed any further until something controversial rears its head, and here we are. I was, I don't want to use the word accosted. Let's just say I was chastened the other day by someone who's offended by my description of what a channel is. Now, I want to remind you that one of the biggest problems that people who are developing their spiritual gifts, what I might refer to as magic, but what others would refer to as the natural process of developing their spirituality and the abilities that come with it, one of the biggest issues that we all have is defining terms. There are no standardizations. There is no school that is recognized by all that teaches what the different gifts are, what the different gifts mean, how to do them, how to train them. There's no standard teachings for this. There's no understood across the board vocabulary for this. So the description that I gave of channeling, which is fairly well known and fairly well accepted for most of us in the Western world as to that's what a channel is. That's how channeling is done. Well, this person and probably her group has a different perception of what channeling is. For her, she is a channel because when she goes into meditation and when she stands in the center of self and the center of source, which is how she channels, she calls through to the ley lines that are around her. She draws them to her and she moves the energy through her body and she distributes it where she thinks it will do the most good. And to her, conducting energy through her body is channeling, and she is a channeler. And that is one idea or description or school of thought on what channeling is. It wasn't the one that I was brought up understanding, but we have different experiences. And until our experiences are acknowledged as being real and that there's some validity to them and that there's worth developing a language around it and terms for what we do, it's well recognized by everyone and accepted by everyone, these kind of arguments are going to come up. And if you look at it, every discipline has had this issue, which is one of the reasons that in Western tradition, the scholars of old, they all learned Latin. And there was acceptable Latin terms for everything, and it made everything very specific. And you could go to any country and talk to another scholar freely about the discipline that you shared in Latin and be understood. Perhaps there's a language we could choose that would help us get some understanding, get some solidity to what all of these terms mean, so that we can discuss our experiences without having misunderstandings or arguments or disagreements as to what it means. But that hasn't happened yet because we're still struggling with the idea that some of these abilities exist. And until we've gotten past that point, we will not reach the glorified heights of having the truth of what humans are and what they can do acknowledged and exalted. So, thank you for joining me, and welcome to the woods.